to Uncontrollable, the podcast where we break the stigma, get loud, and get real about youth mental health. Truth is that having mental health struggles isn't weird, unnatural, or something to be ashamed of. It means you're human. Mental health affects us all, directly or indirectly. You're not alone.
We're here to remind you that some things in life are out of your control, and that's okay. Sometimes you just have to embrace the chaos. Mental health doesn't have to be scary or heavy all the time. It can also be a very fun and relatable topic. This podcast is packed with stories, tools, and fresh ways to handle all the stuff that feels, well, uncontrollable.
Hi, I'm Madison.
And I'm Sophia Lee.
Brought to you by Cloudcast Media.
Our goal is to eliminate the myths and mystery regarding youth mental health and answer your most intriguing questions.
Let's have some fun and explore the uncontrollable. Today we're here with Lindsay Perie, Executive Director of the Crossroads Foundation, and Ka Walker, a former member of the foundation. Thank you guys both so much for joining us. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, we're doing great. Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
The Crossroads Foundation, we are the oldest women's recovery home in San Diego. So we opened in 1957, and we are the second oldest in the state of California.
So yeah, tell us a little bit, how did you both find the Crossroads Foundation?
It was back in 2005. I had just been arrested for the third time. It was for possession of narcotics. And back then, I don't know if they still do, but they had a program called deferment. So you could, instead of going to jail, you could defer your jail time, and as long as you got into a program. And so I called around and got on the waiting list for all the women's programs I could find. It was mainly Crossroads Foundation and Turning Point, and both Turning Point's it's one of our sister programs, great program. And I got into Crossroads first, and I ended up staying there for 18 months, sorry. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. And there's nothing like being in a safe place where you can be yourself and you're surrounded by women that love you, and you are working on one of the hardest things in the world, which is getting and staying sober and learning about yourself and figuring out, why you use drugs and alcohol, and how you can, prevent yourself from continuing to use and damaging yourself and those you love.
What was it like at the Crossroads Foundation? You talk about being surrounded by women who love you and support you and are going through these really hard things. Have you ever found a community like that before? And what was it like to have them?
That's a great question. No, I hadn't. I've been in, I think, 9 treatment centers, and I've also been to prison. And prison certainly isn't a warm and welcoming environment with women. So, but Crossroads was. And, it's like you come in the front door and you just feel at home and you feel safe. And you feel like things that are outside of the door can't touch you, and you can let down your guard and be vulnerable, and it's okay to make friends. It's okay to talk about things that are really difficult to talk about. And it was just so welcoming and warm. Kaya, what about your experience?
I graduated the program and went back. I don't know if it's just that place or if it's just that house, but when I go there, I feel like I'm at home. We had learned some structure and learned how to get up and make our beds and be on time, and how to show up and work as a team with women. All the friendships that I had in the past were very selfish. What I could get from you, what you could give to me, where I was going to do it, how I was going to do it, how I was going to manipulate. And so to have friendships where, like you said, Lindsay, we could be vulnerable and talk about our feelings. Talking about my feelings wasn't something that I did when I was drinking and using. My feelings were a big reason why I did drink and use. because I didn't want to feel my feelings. So having those groups and those, meditations and activities where we would walk around the park. I mean, I didn't go to a park to walk around a park. I went to a park to drink and use, so just things like that really changed the trajectory of my life and my perception of Crossroads and that place. And so, yeah, I hope that answered the question.
Did you guys mention how you guys found Crossroads? Like, how'd you hear about it? Where'd it come from?
Well, back in the early 2000s, I think it was the Yellow Pages. So, yeah, I think it was either the Yellow Pages or a list of treatment centers from.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They give you a list. They give you a list of treatment centers. For me, I had to write a letter. So I remember writing a letter to Crossroads and asking to be accepted into the program. I had written letter with a stamp, and yeah, they let you know whether approved. And if there's a bed available for you, because that's not always the case. There's not always beds available.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but with the Crossroads Foundation right now, is that your main challenge, that you just don't have enough space to admit these women who really want and are willing to get help?
Yes. Thank you for mentioning that. Yes. So there is more need than beds in San Diego, and we treat Medi-Cal women, and so Medi-Cal and Medi-Cal eligible women, and there are only 78 detox beds in San Diego County, and those are shared between men and women. So we are expanding. We are licensed for detox, and we will be adding to the detox bed count for women in the coming years. We are also going to be adding some residential beds. Currently, we have a total of 20 beds. That's the total that Crossroads has had since we've opened. But we are looking to expand because there is such a need for residential treatment, and it's difficult. I was trying to find a bed for someone 2 weeks ago, and I was able to call around and finally find one. But it's, if I don't have a bed, and my close people don't have a bed, I'm calling around to wherever I can to find one. So, and when someone really is in need, especially with the substances that are out there today, you're done detoxing from fentanyl, but you need to get into a place, because the pull to use that drug, the pull to escape, the pull to not feel your feelings is so strong that the best solution that we have that's evidence-based is going from detox to residential directly.
I didn't.
No, yeah, I'm just learning a whole new facts about it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so do you ever have so if people can't come, or they can't, if you can't let some women in just because of space availability, how do you go about that? Do you have to recommend them to other people? Do you still get to talk to them? How does that work? What's the process for that?
We give them all of the resources that we can. We give them referrals, and we do our best to give them alternative resources. So we don't want anyone to go without. There's nothing more alienating than being in early sobriety if you are not seeking out help, or you're not able to get help. It's a very lonely feeling. And the gut reaction for any addict and alcoholic is to escape those feelings and immediately drink or use, so that they're not feeling anymore. And we want to intercept that and let people know they are not alone. And my program and our program and other programs like ours are out there. And there are a lot of resources out there for people. And unfortunately, most people are not aware of them. So, we're Kaya and I like to do these podcasts so that we can bring more awareness to the issue.
Okay, okay. And speaking of sobriety, so kind of switching gears. So what were your biggest struggles on the road to recovery and being sober? Like, question for both of you. So like, what's that journey look like? What's the biggest challenge you have to overcome to get sober?
I don't know. I started to drink and use when I was 14, and so I've been in and out of treatment, and I was a chronic relapser. Uh, my biggest uh, my biggest barrier was just sticking to it. I just always found a reason to relapse. And um, whether it was to escape, to celebrate, to because it's a Tuesday. I mean, it's you know, um, even 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 when I had a son, I eventually relapsed. And so, that's how strong alcohol and drug addiction is. And you have to put energy towards your sobriety every day. Every day. It's something that you actively do. And this last time that I got sober, I would like to say that it was because I went to Crossroads. Crossroads established a very good foundation for me, but I got sober in prison this last time, and not wanting to go back to prison was initially one of the reasons that I stayed sober, because nobody wants to go back to prison. But my life has, you know, become this really wonderful, stable thing that I treasure and means more to me than anything. And I wouldn't give it up for anything.
So would you guys say like through your journey, like from childhood, from like kind of your teenage years to like where you are now, that struggling part, would you say it was due to like a lack of support? Did you feel like you guys like or weren't surrounded by the right people? Like people wise, how was that? Could you be supported better? Could you have opened up to your family? Or could you just been around different people? What contributed to that?
My family's always been very supportive of me. But when I was 18 and I flunked out of college for the first time, my mom just she said that if I don't sober up, I need to leave, and I didn't sober up, and so I had to leave. And I wasn't prepared to be essentially homeless, but that was the choice I made, even though at the time I was angry and thought, you know, I don't know.
All of our
But
problems are someone else's fault.
exactly. How could she do this to me? So
Getting the feeling.
um,
Yeah, I get to my parents all the time. Like, oh, that's how it is. Okay.
right, exactly. But it's like, my actions caused this, So, but no, I chose to be around people that were not good people, and I chose that for many, many years. And so, and your choices shape your chances. So, the people that I was hanging out with, and then my actions contributed to a life that was just not going anywhere. And I just kept going down that path. But my family has always been there, and when I was ready to get help, they were there.
It's nice to see this like your guys' journey and how far you come and like how you don't let that define you. Because I feel like that's kind of where we're trying to get with our podcast. Like there's so many different stories and like having people open up about it. Because I've heard stories of people like not wanting to talk about it or people being ashamed or like, oh, that's like I get one to move on, but being ready to kind of embrace it because I hope more closure comes in with that.
And also,
I agree.
yeah, I really like how you guys talk about the journey and going through it and how that was something that had to happen. Because I think as a kid, at least like for me and some of the friends I know, it's about how do I get to this end goal? And then you don't appreciate the journey as much. So when things don't work out right away, you get really freaked out and you say, might as well not even try it. But can any of you guys, can you both talk about how you were able to stay strong in your journey and what advice you would give yourself to when you were younger and still struggling with these things?
Oh boy, I would have made so many different decisions. um, but um, you know, I I stay strong because I have a good support system. I consider myself a seeker. So if I am not okay with any part of my life, I will seek alternatives and I will make it better. I'm very resilient, and so I know what works for me and what does not, and I will change it. That is one thing I've learned in recovery, because my sobriety is my most cherished thing. Because without it, my life will fall apart. I think almost all of my friends are in recovery, and it's just part of my it's part of my daily my daily stuff. If I could give advice to a younger me, I would goodness, I would just say, please make better decisions. And everything is, you know, things that you think matter, like men or women or you know, having a good time, that doesn't matter. You know, I don't know. My
Yeah.
stepdad used to tell me that men are like buses. If you stand on a corner long enough, another one will come along. And it's really true for, I mean, it's really true. Relationships, friends are important. Relationships come and go. But it's so important to just invest in yourself and and just treasure who you are as a person.
Well, what about you, Kaya?
Kaya?
I would say pain is a great motivator. So if you're in pain, um, that it's never too late. Like you're never late to getting sober, like unless a lot of people don't make it to recovery because jails, institutions, or death, and that's just the reality. That is like the stark reality. And these were things that I didn't know from a young age, but I would definitely say that like if you're struggling, like you're not alone. Like there's somebody out there that has either been through or is currently going through what you're going through. And like that is huge for me. Like I came into this program, like I said, lost and broken, and I just wanted to be loved. And I was drinking and drugging to numb out those feelings of not being good enough. And in in recovery, I have found that love that I was looking for so long. And, so I guess just my advice is just to seek help.
But usually when you talk about rehab or when you hear about rehab, it sounds very negative, very scary, like you don't have a lot of freedoms or control. But the way you guys describe it, Crossroads Foundation sounds amazing, full of love and community and carving pumpkins and fun activities.
Oh
Sorry,
yeah.
Kyle, were you
It's
going
a
to?
lot of fun.
Yeah.
So for me, I was released from jail to Crossroads. So Crossroads is a big improvement, you know, and I had my own space, that I could make my own. I could I had a bed and a dresser and I could put like pictures up on my tack board and I was able to have a routine and severity. I didn't think it was important. And when you're in it, I hated it. Okay. I did not want to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to be downstairs to eat breakfast with all these women that I didn't know in the beginning, but then as time goes on, these women that you don't know when you get in there start to seem like your sisters. And they had roles when I was there, like a new girl would come in and I would be like her big sister. And I would show her the house and I would show her, and we'd draw from a hat, and we'd all have different chores weekly. So, one person would have, the yard and the patio and, or, you know what I mean? Little responsibilities, because those were things I didn't do or have prior to coming into Crossroads. We'd also have a rotational like day of being a house mom where you can, um, make dinner for all the girls, and you get to let the staff know what your ingredients you would need were the week prior, and then they pick those up, and then we would make dinner. It'd be like your day to kind of drive the ship, if that makes sense. And it gave me a sense of pride and responsibility, and at the end of the day, like accomplishment. And every morning we'd eat oatmeal, and then we'd walk around Balboa Park, and it was called like a spiritual walk. And I used to always complain and say this walk would be a lot more spiritual at 9:30.
I love that you're able to like talk to, because it was really an educational opportunity for me, because I always have like questions regarding rehab, because I know everyone's like, oh, it's like, or at least like movies or TV's reality make it seem like it's such a struggling thing, like it's really not, like it's basically prison, but you're just not in handcuffs. That's what a lot of people. So I was wondering, is it like that, and it like force you, but it seems like it's really an opportunity for you to grow, and it provides that structure and like that. It seems that it's helpful with that structure.
There's
Exactly.
a 10-day blackout when you first get there. That feels like the longest 10 days of your life. But that 10 days is to like protect you in a little bubble so that you can't self-destruct by going outside in the real world. So that 10-day blackout period, they want you to not use the phone, because we call, people that bring up these emotions, And so that 10-day blackout period can feel like, but it's not. It's just us alcoholics and addicts like instantaneous gratification. So the moment we get 1 day sober, we're like, I'm better. I would
Right.
like a trophy. And then,
Funny.
you know what I mean? Like we want
It's true.
everything back. And it takes time. We didn't burn our lives to the ground in 1 day. So it takes time
For that
to
hold up to happen.
build our life back, and I was able to get a job and go to school. I went in, I was 30 years old, So it seems a little like, I didn't have a phone back then. I heard the girls get phones now. I didn't have a phone. We couldn't have a phone. We had to use a landline. We could only use it for 10 minutes in an hour. 10 minutes. So wrap it up. We don't have that much to talk about, and we're all of us 20 girls are waiting to use the phone, so it's learning how to share and how to respect each other. And sorry.
Right. No, you're clean. I'm glad you kind of give us that inside look to how it really is. Because it seems like it's necessary, that kind of seclusion from the world. Because I feel like we don't talk more about how the world really plays a role into like what we have going on in our mental state. So time is sometimes it's kind of good for like to detox or to like kind of get like away from the world. No, and I always right, and like it was crazy because like I've had to have surgeries done on my legs for stuff, right? But so the most peace I've ever felt was like being in our room half paralyzed, and like it's just a black room with a TV playing. And then people always think I'm crazy for saying that, but I was like, no, that's the most peace I've felt, because it's like being able just to drown out the outside world and realize that nothing you do in that moment really impacts whatever. Like, I stress a lot, right? So I'm like, what can I really do if I'm half paralyzed? Like, there's nothing to stress about because it's the condition I'm in. So I feel like that's kind of how, like, right, you kind of, it's just like, there's nothing to do but, like, to really kind of get a deeper look on yourself. So it's, like, really great. So just a break, that isolation is, like, needed. So that's good.
It's hard. I think detoxing from social media. I mean, we don't, we allow the clients to have their phones only when they go on appointments, so they can't have their phones just sitting around the house. And there are other programs that allow clients to have their phones, but I don't support that. I think that social media can be really anxiety producing, and also it can be a drug in a way. You're escaping where you are by scrolling, and then what is that FOMO, that your fear of missing out, and it
Validation.
validation, and then you start to compare yourself. You can get body dysmorphia. I mean, just all these things just are all wrapped up into social media. And so when we discussed allowing the clients, after they've been there for a minute, to have their phones full time, I thought, no. Let's just do it when they go on appointments, so they're able to call an Uber so that they can get transportation. And and of course, I'm sure they're on social media when they're on their appointment. I mean, I'm not trying to control someone on their phone, but the amount of anxiety I know I feel, and I'm 50, from social media, I can't imagine, being younger. It's a lot of pressure, and I think it's great that the both of you have this podcast to where you're addressing and normalizing mental illness, because it's a real thing, and it's extremely common, and it's still a taboo subject. Unfortunately, people don't want to talk about, and the more that we bring these subjects to light, the more that we normalize them, the more that we say, hey, you're not alone, it's okay, because even though we're more connected than ever, I think we're also more alone than ever. It's so easy to isolate. You can order your groceries, and you can work and all that. You don't have to leave your house anymore. So that's my soapbox for social media today. But
I agree. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. And I feel like you taking it away is a good thing. Like, I don't think people really look at how fast we can end up spending hours and hours on end. And I feel like you also give them a chance at like forming better connections with each other and building that sister bonds that you're going to need. That you're gonna.
Well,
Agreed.
also, like, being in rehab, when you're in it, you want to get out. Okay.
Right.
And when you're out, you want to go back, because it's almost like a blip in time. Like when you're in it, you're checking off the days, right? Just like, oh my God, I can't wait to get out of here, and all the things, and I want to get a job, and I want to do this, and I can't wait to get my car. And then you realize that once you get out, like, life is on and cracking again, like, you got to pay bills, you got to go to work, and you know what I mean? Like, being able to enjoy this 3 to 6 month blip in time that it may for some people be a thing that they do over and over, but for some people, like me, I haven't had to go back to rehab because I'm still clean and sober since I left Crossroads, but it's a blip in time. You know what I'm saying? When you're in it, it seems like forever, and when you're gone, you want to go back to where life is simpler. You just have to go to groups, and you just have to focus on your recovery. And I have a sponsee currently that wants to get a job. She wants to get her car, and she wants to do this. And I'm like, just work on you.
Right,
because if you build that foundation in your recovery, if you build it and enjoy this time where, almost like a once in a lifetime opportunity to just work on yourself, and your job is to just get sober and be clean, when you get out, you're able to deal with life on life's terms.
Speaking of phones, Sophia, you know what time it is?
What time is it?
I don't know. I think it's game time.
Might be game time.
And
Hey, all right.
bro, we like to do mini games.
Yeah.
Kind of lighten the mood, or to lighten the mood, just in the middle. We like to do mini games. So, what's the game of the day?
Our game today is hot takes. Would you like to play with us?
Sure. I don't know what that is, but sure.
Hot takes. Hot takes are like
Hot takes.
controversial opinions.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna
Okay.
start with some, and you guys can give us a couple.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with a pretty good one. Mullets look cool. Agree or disagree?
What is it?
Mullets look cool. Like Business in the front, party in the back.
Mullets?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
People
Guys-
hate on them so
You guys all like mullets?
much. A comeback.
It's a longer mullet.
My son, his first haircut, my son, when he was like 1 or 2, he had his hair was starting to grow and he had these little curls. And like, I didn't want to cut his hair in the back. So we just cut it in the front. And little kids with mullets is the cutest thing. And now they're trending. You know, like if you let something go long enough, it comes back.
It comes back.
You know,
Everything comes
I mean,
back.
just like
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn, you know, I mean, he has a mullet. I mean, there's just a lot of people now who can rock it, you
Right,
know?
yeah. On the right person. On the
And
first.
if you feel good in it, who cares?
Exactly.
Do you?
Exactly.
You know, I'm all pro mullet.
There we go.
Okay. Let's see. Another good one.
There's so many.
Samsung is better than Apple.
Disagree.
You disagree?
Disagree. Yeah.
Why,
Apple person too.
why do you
I
guys
Yeah,
mean-
I used to be a Samsung person, but I have become an Apple person, and I don't know.
Do you think you're an Apple person because everyone around us uses Apple? 'Cause I heard in a lot of other countries they use Samsung a lot. So are we all Apple people because people use it a lot?
You know, that is a good question. I mean, am I saying I'm an Apple person because I have an iPhone currently? If I had a Samsung, I would probably, I mean, I guess I'm used to my iPhone, so that's why I immediately disagree with you. Yeah. Okay, this is just because it's the last thing I've used, you know? I got
Yeah.
it right here, so I don't know.
I switched years ago because I wanted to be able to share locations with the
Oh.
relation.
Oh boy.
You know what I mean? So I was like, well, we have to get iPhones now because I have trust issues.
Right, I gotta know where you are. I gotta know where you are. No,
I know where you are at all times.
I have friends
But-
that, like
Yeah.
I'm out and they're like, "Oh, why are you right here?" I was like, "Why are you in my business?
They always say it at the most random time, and you're
Oh,
like, okay.
Why are you in Coronado?" Because I can be.
Like now, I think I could go back. My mom has a Samsung or like an Android, and I don't know how to go back. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I literally don't know how to press back. Like, I'm like, I don't know how to download stuff. So I feel like before that used to be that's all I knew. So I feel like it's the
Right.
same thing in life. Like life is forever changing. And so it's really like what changes are best for you. You know, some
Right.
people love and Samsung, Google, they all have great phones too. You know, I just don't know how to use them anymore because if you don't use it, you lose it type of
That's
thing.
true.
Yeah,
That's true. Okay, next. How about the statement, "I can fix him"?
I was just about to ask that one.
When people say "I can fix," do y'all believe in that?
I can fix someone?
Yeah.
Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
Yeah.
I can fix him.
Yeah.
When people,
Toxic relationships.
yeah, toxic relationship. When people believe they can fix
Oh
him,
God.
you think someone can make somebody better? Like I could fix him.
No. 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 My first 2 marriages were about that. No. um. No. No. You can start dating someone and they can be a project, and you can think, oh, you know, I can improve him or her. And you know what? No, you can't, because everybody's an individual, and people are gonna do what they want, and it's easy to like be in a relationship and lose yourself, and then all of a sudden you discover that you like things that you're doing everything your partner wants, and you know all of a sudden all your become your partner, and it's like, where did I go? You know? So no, we cannot fix people.
Yeah. Okay.
And then 1 or 2 more. Let's go to funnier one. Should
Uh,
we do this one or this one?
we can do one more because we're running out of time.
Okay. Our last one is aliens are real.
Kaya, that's all you.
What is it?
Alien.
Aliens are real. Yeah.
You know, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Do you think
I
that's
don't know.
a possibility?
I'm sure there is. Yeah, I'm sure with this world that we live in, nothing is impossible to me. I don't, you know what I mean? I have no idea, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. You
They are
know?
totally real. Totally.
It's honestly real.
No, because we are in the universe, we are infinitesimal. You know what I mean? And there's has to be other intelligent life forms out there. We could not be the pinnacle of it. So yes, there are aliens.
Okay.
Agreed. And that will be the end of today's game.
Yeah, so I was wondering, a lot of kids our age, I think, get into this thing of like, well, I don't need help, I don't have a problem, or I just don't want to stop using because it makes me feel comfortable. Like not even just happy anymore, it's just I need it to feel stable. What advice do you have for them and how can they work through that?
From what I've learned about alcoholism and addiction, if, because there's some people that can drink normally. They can have a glass of wine on their wedding day, or, you know what I mean? Like, there is people that can drink normally. But for me, once I start, I can't stop. Meaning, like, I could take a polygraph and say in the morning, I'm not going to drink or use today. And by the end of the day, I'm drunk or high. And so for me, that is a good tell sign if you're struggling and you want to stop, but you can't, that you might need help. But I'll tell you, a lot of people have to be pretty badly mangled, meaning their life burned to the ground before they really want to get help. These programs are usually like the last house on the block for people. They don't, nobody wants to get sober because it's so socially acceptable, and prescription drugs as well are being just handed out to people that it's hard not to get addicted, and we like that sense of ease and comfort that comes by taking a drink or a drug. And we want to check out, So I don't know. I would say, I wish I could save people, but unless you have a desire to stop and you can't, the journey is the journey.
Also, escapism is if okay, thinking that you're the exception to the rule is never reality. So there isn't there are some people that can recreationally use drugs and then they get past that in their life and they move on. But most people that are using to escape something, or using and it becomes a habit, or or it's a secret, that's a big thing. Is if it's a secret, or if you're keeping secrets, your secrets will keep you sick. And so it's easier. Life is easier when we see what we have in common with others. And it's okay to have, it's okay to need help. It's okay to, I'm okay with being a drug addict. Some people don't like the label. I'm good with it. I'm good because it helps me identify with other people, especially people that I wouldn't maybe normally not be friends with, but we have that in common. And so it helps you feel less alone.
So what does the future look like for you guys, either yourself or what the Crossroads Foundation is like? What do you hope to gain, improve? What does the future look like?
Well, as the Crossroads Foundation, our goal is to help as many women as possible get clean and sober, reunited with their families, and become productive members of society, whatever that looks like. And so my goal, as long as I am the executive director, is to continue the mission, is to also grow and expand our services, but within and sticking to our core beliefs. So we are adding withdrawal management, detox, and we are going to be adding sober living. And we are just going to keep moving forward and just help any and every woman that I can, because I just want people to understand that you can't waste time. You don't get time back. It's so precious. And so that's my goal, and that's Crossroads' goal. Kaya?
I would say,
You know, for myself to stay clean and sober, because if I am not, I have nothing. You know, like I told you in the beginning, I came from a family of alcoholics and addicts, and I today am breaking that chain of addiction in my family by staying sober one day at a time. That in turn is a ripple effect. It's like the butterfly effect, you know? It is transcending, and I'm able to help so many women and inspire people and empower people, just by leading by example. You know, like, this is a program of attraction rather than promotion. So I could tell people all day long that they should get sober. They should, you know, live a different life. But unless they want to, and they're not going to want to if my life is shit, they're going to want to see that I am shining. You know, they're going to want what I have. So to keep plugging in and to keep helping one woman at a time. Right now I have 3 sponsees, and as much as that seems like a lot because I have 2 children, I'm able to just read with them and talk with them and guide them and show them like that my life is better without drugs and alcohol. Yeah.
that's my goal.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for joining.
And to stay plugged in with Crossroads, because I absolutely love them and they saved my life, and I would not be where I am today without them.
I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming onto our podcast today. I really enjoyed this conversation. I really learned a lot. So once again, I'm Madison Mays,
And I'm Sophia Lee.
brought to you by Cloudcast Media.
Today we talked with Lindsay and Ka from the Crossroads Foundation about recovery, addiction, rehab, everything.
Everything.
Uh-huh.
And we hope you guys
All
have right? We hope you guys have had fun. And remember, don't be afraid to explore the uncontrollable. But thank you guys.
All right.